What's up, pups? I hope you're doing absolutely amazing wherever you are inside this beautiful matrix. My name is Sam Wolf, and it's good to see you. It's about 1,000,000 degrees in my flat, so I'm going to stay here all night making videos until it cools down. So right now, we're going to look at Bitcoin. I'm going to do a Bitcoin update for you because it's been a while, and you want to know what's going to happen. So I'm with you. And at the very end, I'm going to tell you a secret that no one's really talking about, but is going to give you insight at what the billionaires are thinking. Okay, it's really cool, so stick around. Let's check out Bitcoin first, though. All right, we are at $59,000 right now, Bitcoin USD. Now, really quick, I want to show you that on May 30th here, which was right around here-ish, I made a video calling the top. It was about 72K. I made this May 30th. I wrote "Crash is coming" on the title. I wasn't trying to be mean or bearish, but this is what I was seeing on the chart at that time. There was a lot of bullish news, and the price wouldn't go up anymore. And, well, we saw this sign of weakness right here, which wasn't pretty. So I felt like down was the only logical direction. And we went all the way down here to 49K from 71, 72K. So it was quite a drop, but most importantly, our alts got killed in the meantime. But it's been a couple months, and we've come back above into this channel. Now, there's a lot of ways to look at this channel. Some people are drawing this diagonally. I'll just do that for you really quick. You know, we've got one of these going. Okay. And that's great. All this is fine. All this is really good stuff. You can look at it like that however you want. What was important to me and why I'm not focused on that is this trend line right here, okay? This trend line goes back to when we really started this impulsive rise, okay? Which was certainly impulsive the way it was moved. I believe BlackRock began announcing ETF news around that. Okay, so let's look at that date. That was on end of October 8th, 2023, okay? So I took a trend line from here, then we touched down. Touched a couple places, okay? And a couple little kind of spots there. You can draw it a number of different ways. We had 2 points here, okay, which was January, okay? So I thought this was important. I thought January was very important because we touched it, and then we made a higher high. If you were to draw a line between these 2 points, we didn't quite touch it again. It was a very impulsive move from there up, okay? And then we've been coming sideways ever since and down. Now, I let this trend line be here because it was an important place we needed to cross. We needed to cross it and bounce off it. So when we went below here, I was expecting downside from here. That's why I made that video about a crash coming, of course. But we came right back above. Okay. But what happened next? We didn't bounce off that trend line that we had been holding since October of 2023. Look at that. Is that October 13th? We fell below it and we made a lower low from this one. So to me, it doesn't matter if you draw a broadening wedge here, you draw a channel diagonal or a bull flag or whatever. Yeah, it could be a bull flag, could be a broadening wedge. I just think, to me, this support line is the most important for my trading and the way I'm looking at the market, because we came back, we retested it, fell down again to this support, and we bounced back and we hit it again and got rejected again from this trend line. That's why I think this trend line, to me, this diagonal, is an extremely important line, okay? And why I'm not drawing a bull flag is because the price action seems to want to respect this horizontal support line the most, okay? So that's how I look at it, all right? Once again, there's no right or wrong. It's what leads you to the right answer that's important. And so far, I've had a good finger on the pulse here. Now, we're kind of hanging out between this. So now it's resistance. It was support, as you saw from back here, was support here. So what's this thing? I'll clean that up for you. So it was support here. It was support here. And we just flew above it. You saw that. And now it's resistance, which is, it's really basic. But what is good is that we're holding on to this horizontal support here. So the question is, Do we just bounce and go sideways here? Because that would be fine. But if we can't get back above this line and we start seeing a lot more weakness, we could fall below this line, and then we're going to the lower targets. But let me show you something that's really cool. If you look down here at the RSI, all right, you can see we've got this trend line here, okay? That was going all the way back to March of 2024, okay? So that was here. We kind of started this impulsive move. We hit a high, and of course we've been creating what's called bearish divergence because the RSI is going down. But the price was still staying bullish. Now, it was making lower lows as well, but it was making much, much lower lows on the RSI. But what happened that was interesting right here in July is we popped above it. Of course, we fell back below it, but now we're holding above it. So that's good. That's a really good sign of strength for me. What needs to happen for the bullish case is we need to break back above here, and the further we go, the higher this number gets. So let's just say middle of September, it needs to break above 67,000, for example, okay? And it needs to hold above that. It does that, I become very interested in Bitcoin. We break above, I'll say 69, 70,000, okay? I mean, we could, at that point, I'll become interested at where I draw this trend line more. Maybe I do that. If we get back above 69,000, 70,000, I become very bullish. Okay, so we break above this trend line, I become extremely interested. We break above this, and I become very bullish very quickly. Okay, regardless of whether you draw that respecting this or you draw it at a diagonal, it's here nor there right now at this point, to be totally honest, unless you're trading it to the pip. So we're here right now, and it's kind of in this like middle zone. We don't know what it's going to do yet. So we got to pay attention. Now, of course, we just go sideways, as I explained. Now let's look at the downside and then the bearish thing. Let's say we do break this line. What happens? Where do we go? Well, at that point, you'd start to look back at that broadening wedge and look for these support points. All right, so maybe that's 46,000. But I tell you, for me, if we break this again, I'm not as interested in that broadening wedge. I'm going to be interested in something out of here. Okay, maybe this. What's that? 44,000. Okay, so I'm going to become more interested in this area here at a point here, which probably lines up with this broadening wedge as well. As you can see, it probably would play out. So you've got this area. Would we break below that? Well, it depends what happens. If something bad happens and they really shake it up, and it's not Japan this time, it's the Middle East, it's who knows what, sure, it could break that. Then we're looking at other targets down here. You've got 35, 32, 25, and this zone down here that I've had for a long time, which is 19 to 22K. And these are worst case scenarios. This is really bad. I mean, generally there's some consensus. I've heard people saying 44, which lines up right down here, and also with this broadening wedge. If it were to break, what is that at 58,500, let's say. So we're holding just fine up in here. Like I said, you can look at the RSI. Their strength has come back in, even though the RSI was falling apart for a while. We've now holding really well. You can see on the MACD, on the daily, it's crossing down again, but let's look at the weekly here. Okay, we're heading down. Oh, it's turning over on the monthly, but you can see what happened here. Okay, so it turned over on the monthly and ripped right back up. So let me look. Let's see. Yeah, there's strength in this market, and we see that in the stock market as well. People are waiting for the Fed, but we're at peak fuckery right now, and you've got to pay attention to more than just the fact that the Fed's going to cut and we could just go down. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. Maybe we've already had the recession. Who knows? We got to pay close attention. So that is Bitcoin. And upside targets, well, if we break 69, 70K, as I was explaining, I become very bullish. And then we're looking at, you've got a trend line probably from here. Maybe that lines up around 90K. We're certainly on our way to 100K, but to be honest, once we break this, we'll have to look at what's happening. All right, we got to look at it again at that point. Right now, we need to focus on what's going to happen here, what the decision's going to be. Are we going to come down here and fill out this range, which would be absolutely acceptable? We have a tremendous amount of support here and here at 49,000, which is the wick here. Yeah, 49,000. So let's be patient here, but at the same time, you should be learning, researching, watching great videos to be prepared whichever direction it goes, because it's going to affect the altcoins and a lot of other things. And the election's coming up, so I'd lean biased to bullish coming into the end of the year, like 100%. September traditionally is a bearish month, but with peak fuckery that's been going on, maybe September is bullish, October is bearish. Who knows what games end up being played this year? It's going to be really interesting, but it is a election year, so I think we have another. I think there's more juice left. I think there's some more upside, but how that happens, we don't know, and nobody does. Remember, we had a high before the halving, and no one saw that coming. So I'm not ready to assume anything at this point. I'm kind of like an athlete on the field, just wherever the ball goes, I'm ready to take it. All right, let me show you some really cool news. Have you guys ever heard of Nubank? Nubank is a digital bank. It is mostly located in South America and Mexico. And what's really amazing about it is you can withdraw into Bitcoin, okay? This is a very new thing. And guess who one of the biggest investors of this bank are? Warren Buffett. That's right. He has 0.5% of their equity portfolio. So he's the 17th largest holder in Nubank, all right? And what's really interesting about this is that Warren Buffett just dumped, I believe, $950 million or about $1 billion of Bank of America, okay? But he did not dump Nubank. And not only that, but Nubank just added the Lightning Network. And do you guys have any idea how big Mexico and Latin America are? Yeah, exactly. So he knows where the ball is headed in the long run, all right? Now, he is in cash in a big way as well. So maybe we have some volatility coming without a doubt, but you need to keep your eye on the prize, and you need to be ready, because this is going to turn around very quickly, and the billionaires are already eyeing this prize. All right. So stay sharp. I'll keep you updated later.